All right. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. It's 1:30, the lights are on. And the next item is the minutes. Did everybody look at those? Got a motion to approve. Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Cast your votes when you can.
Elena, I'm still trying to log in, so, okay.
Mine says waiting.
Mine says it's up, but
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, do we want to
I'm not
change
logged
removes
in,
and
so
seconds?
mine did the same mistake. None of them are, you're gonna have to voice vote.
Yeah, my screen says waiting. We were waiting on Marcus.
Yeah, so now you can.
Yeah, let's just do voice. Okay, we got a motion and somebody seconded it.
Don did.
Motion and a second, cast your votes. Emily Kay moved.
We've never done this before, have we? No, just kidding. Don.
Well,
Will you receive? Oh, there it goes.
Yes.
okay, received. Cindy, we got some requests to continue.
Item number 7, case number 15853 is continued to April 17th. Item number 8, case number 15888 is continued to 4/17/25. Item number 9, case number 15688 is continued till May 1st.
Okay. Is there anybody here on those items? All right, I think we're ready for a motion.
All right, motion to move case number 15853 and case number 15888 to the April 17, 2025 meeting, and then motion to continue, what's the other number? Item number 9 to the May 3rd, 2025 meeting.
May 1st.
May 1st, thank you.
15688. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Cast your votes. All right, those 3 items are continued.
Got it in favor.
Do we have anybody in the audience who wants to request a continuance on their item? None? No consent docket. Cindy, you want?
Item number 1, case number 15858 is a request of Box Law Group and Craft and Toll on behalf of JW Mashburn Development for a variance to side yard setback located at 6605 Northwest 145th Street.
Good afternoon, David Box, 525 Northwest 11th Street, here on behalf of the applicant. The case before you is for a side yard setback variance. We are requesting a variance to the 5-foot side yard setback. Oftentimes in these cases, the thing that creates concern from a city level is whether or not we are encroaching within a utility easement. The application before you does not involve utility easement. It is simply the side yard setback. The code requires 10 foot between houses. Based upon the survey presented before you, the most narrow point of house to house here is 8.08 feet. So we do encroach into that side yard setback due to an error at the time of building that west wall, excuse me, the east wall. So we're seeking relief here from you. And again, we do not impact a utility easement. Happy to answer any questions.
I don't have anybody signed up on this one. Does anybody want to address the board on this application? Anything from the board?
Just a few questions. So the idea on this one would be to put the fence still on the property line
Yes, sir.
and just have the 3 feet from the building face to the, or nearly 3 feet?
Correct.
Do you know when they found out this was off?
I believe as they were getting ready for occupancy. I mean, it was substantially completed before they found out the error.
So I drove by the property, looked at it. I mean, it's so easily seen from the naked eye that it surprises me that it can get this far before they fix it. Or, well, can't even fix it. And just looking at the properties and the way the water's coming off the roof, the fact that they don't have guttering down that east side of this property gives me, I just think that they need to be able to protect that property from the runoff off that roof.
Gutter? We could require guttering.
I'd like to see if the applicant is applicable to this, but to gutter it and to put an under drain in it and pipe it to the curb.
They want to know if you can gutter it, pipe it, take it to the curb.
Absolutely.
We can do that.
Anything else?
I share the same thoughts. Like, we keep seeing these, and I think the sentiment is that, well, we can't do anything about it because we can't demo the house, but there's got to be some deterrence to this. And I'm fine with these recommendations for today, but I think moving forward, even taking it as far as reaching out to fire and seeing if maybe a special wall assembly or something like that on the side of the house that is encroaching. So.
Yeah. And at Planning Commission, we've done replats and some other ways. It's
Not an option here.
it is, but it gains you like 9 inches. I mean, it's just not
Yeah.
that much.
Well, at Planning Commission, what you'll see, when I do these at Planning Commission, it's because we are in a utility easement. So I'm seeking to close and then vacate, if I can get the city council to close it, to get the encroachment out of an easement. Here, we don't have that easement. But yeah, you
It's
are
just the
seeing
build-
more of these.
The build line, yeah.
I don't know necessarily that it's happening more often. They're being caught more.
Yeah, well, and there's just a lot of homes on a lot smaller lots too. So that makes a lot of the difference of, this is a 50-foot lot, but it just, we're using more of the property.
So maybe not as to this specific case that we've got before us, but I know we've asked staff, is there a way to modify our processes to get approval on location where the foundation itself is being poured? I know we've asked that in the past. Is it a matter of manpower?
That is under development services.
Okay.
And it's a different process, and they already have their processes in order. So we would have to do an ask to processes. But I have been told that they are not in surveyors in the field. So that's, when they do their inspection, it's the the pin location is where they're getting off. So they may have to do something in that nature, but they don't have the manpower to make that change. But we can let you know, we can let them know that it seems to be a
I mean-
question by you guys.
It's almost like we need to send them a bill every time that we need to correct this. And
I mean, they get we send this, a review out, but at some point, that's going to have to be a process that they put in place for their building permit process.
So is there a way to set up a meeting with them? I mean, I'd be willing to sit in on that meeting to explain our concerns from the Board of Adjustment side of things, that here's what we're dealing with. It's too far down the road to ask, this developer to now demolish the home to put it in the right place. I think it's pretty severe, but there's so many easy things we can do in the forefront to be proactive versus rather than reactive.
Yeah, this could easily have been found at the stage of pouring the footing.
So,
It's tape it off the other
We're
house,
happy
10 feet.
to get
very
with
simple.
Sarah, and we can reach out to,
Yeah, we can, Sarah Welch, Planning Department, we can try to set something up. We think that the answer would involve maybe a two-part permit process and inspection, which would affect every residential permit in the city, so. But we can set up a meeting and flush that out with the Development Services Department.
okay. I think we probably should put everybody on notice that we are going to be a little more strict on these things going forward. But
Any other questions, comments?
no.
I think we're ready for a motion then.
Motion to approve case number 15858 for the purpose that it meets the statutory requirements for the requested variance, subject to the modifications that Mr. Noble has gotten consents for.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Cast your votes.
Thank you.
You're approved.
item number 2, case number 15880 is a request of Velo Development LLC for a variance to the 300-foot separation requirement from a residential zoning district for a use unit automotive vehicle impound yard located in the I-2 district at 1218 North Irving Street.
My name is Bert Woodring, and I'm representing Metro Towing and Recovery. And we're trying to buy this piece of property right here, and with the city ordinances the way they are, if you have a towing yard in Oklahoma City, one of the things is you have to have a 300-foot, if it adjoins residential, you have to have a 300-foot space between that to store cars. Well, this lot is only 3 acres, and so if you have the 300 feet, then therefore you don't have a space to store cars hardly. So what we're asking to do here is to forgive the 300 feet of the ordinance in order for us to be able to park cars on it. It'll be a wrecker impound yard where we'll be towing cars in for the police department and highway patrol. Basically, we'll be storing the vehicles until we tow them to the insurance pool or the owners pick them up. What is not picked up, we will eventually be auctioning. And that's basically what we're doing here. And I've talked to the neighborhood people, and we'd be willing to put up a 8-foot picket fence around the perimeter of it. We plan on, and it would be site-proof. We plan on also building a brand-new building on the property, which will have a safe storm shelter in it for the whole community. Will be a safe place, be registered with the City of Oklahoma City. We're going to keep the entrance to the property at the very south end of the property. Therefore, it will be basically a block away from the residential area. And about the, we also, they just became available, the piece of property just to the east of that, which we plan on purchasing that if we can get this variance, and we'll be cleaning that up and rerouting everything from Park Street up through our yard to that other yard, which will eliminate all commercial and industrial traffic on 12th Street and on the north part of Irving there. Everything will be coming in through Park, so there shouldn't be any traffic problems at all like there is now as far as any commercial trucks in the area or on 12th Street. Is there any questions from the committee?
Did anyone sign up to speak?
Oh, yeah.
I thought so. I'd like to hear from them first before we bring you.
All right. I've got several folks signed up to speak. I'll just take what's on top. It looks like Devetta Davis? Denny Vetta? Sorry, I said that wrong. Come on up, give us your name and address. And
Denavetta Davis, 721 North Kellam. I am here as president of the Northeast Oklahoma City Neighborhood Coalition. We are a collaboration of neighborhood presidents and team leaders representing 18 neighborhoods in Northeast Oklahoma City. And we are here to support the neighbors in White Orchard in their opposition to this application. White Orchard has been in decline for many years, and recently we see new housing. There are new developments going on, and so this does not fit in with the rise and the progress being made in White Orchard. And so we ask that you vote no. Thank you.
all right. Vernon Craig.
Hello, my name is Vernon Craig for 2036 Northeast 12th Street. I am here in opposition. My family has owned this property since, I believe, 1957. The property value at one time during the housing bubble went down, and it's just now starting to rebound because we're getting lowballed offers. But now that the MAPS project has been moving from downtown eastward, basically, they've been putting in new houses in vacant lots or tearing houses down and putting new houses. People also been remodeling houses. I had to speak also one other time, or a couple other times, about the county jail and the, what's it called? Medical waste facility that they wanted to put. I did my research with NIH, which is a government website, federal, which says that the things that they wanted to do, even if they did the 9 different ways that they can dispose of things like burning, burying, all of that waste is still gonna go into the ground and into the air. It will affect anyone that lives around, including children. Like I said, it will not just affect the people that live next door. The wind will carry this to other parts of the community, which is Douglas High School is within eye view. I can see the stadium from my backyard and hear the games. There are children that walk through there in that area. Also, I've done my research on the EPA. There are other impound yards who have been cited with problems because of the impounding towing. Basically, these vehicles have been in police chases. They've been impounded for other reasons, whether the owner took care of it or not, can get their car out or not. Some of these cars are not in good condition. They're gonna leak on the ground. You're gonna have oil, gas, battery fluid, and other things. Also, the lot has already been, right now, is being used with construction vehicles that they haven't told you that they're already storing vehicles, dump trucks, and other things on there. So I think that the code should stay enforced. It's there for a reason. It's to protect the environment and the people around. I don't have any opposition to an impound yard. I just don't like the place where they're putting it. We have plenty of other police impound yards. They're not near a bunch of residential areas. So I just want to make sure that we're thinking of the residents and the people, but also I think that if we take the time to put our tax dollars in and MAP money, and we say we're reinvesting, we're doing all this with Okana and all these other things on the east side, which is right down the street, by the way, the Okana, and we're doing this, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So I talked to the mayor's office. They're not aware of this facility that they're trying to do. So I think basically what I'm saying is that you're contradicting yourself. If you say you want a Renaissance and you're trying to renovate and you're taking the MAPS money, and you're putting all these new houses, no one wants to live next to a dump or impound. It's going to increase the traffic. Also, if they need to have security, they're going to have lights 24 hours. The idea for the fence they got from me, I talked to the owner. He didn't tell me he was the owner at the time. He pretended he wasn't. That's neither here nor there. I just am trying to say that there's a lot of things that are going to affect it, so it's more than one. And like I said, it's going to, even if they put up the fence, which was my idea, that area is higher, so everyone can still see in there with an 8 or 10-foot fence, because he proposed a 10-foot fence. Everyone can see into that yard from wherever you are. It's a low-lying area compared to the rest of the neighborhood. So it's an eyesore. My property values went from $50,000 or $20,000 to $50,000, now up to $250,000. All the new houses are going for $250,000 or more. So if you put this right next to it, no one's going to want to live next to it. It's going to have a lot of sound. It's going to be 24/7. You don't know the types of people that are coming in there because they're having to deal with police for whatever reason their car was impounded. So I just think that we need to take in consideration. And like I said, the code is there for a reason. So I pray that you guys enforce that code. And thank you for your time. Have a blessed day.
Velma Jean Madison.
Good afternoon. My family bought that
Give us
property.
your name and address for the record.
Oh,
first,
okay, I'm sorry.
Please.
My name is Velma Jean Madison, and I'm speaking on behalf of 2036 Northeast 12th Street, which is west of the junkyard that they're trying to do. I'm on a high hill, so it doesn't matter what kind of fence they put. I can see in that yard. So that disturbs me. My parents bought that house when I was in second grade. I am now 72 years old. My sister and I put a massive amount of money into the house 2 years ago, remodeled it, updated, and everything. The values were so bad over there, it went down to $27,000 on that street. It was horrible. U-Builder came in and built a house right across the street on the north side, and they have a rent house still there, and I contacted the president. He wasn't satisfied with it either. Then there's 3 other buildings in front of our property that are brand new that were for sale for $235,000, and they have sold. So because of that, that's bringing our properties up as well. I talked to peacekeepers who you guys passed about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was the Planning Commission, to allow them to build new housing on Northeast 12th and Irving, 13th and Irving, and 14th and Irving. So I do not understand why you would want them to invest in those streets if you're going to put a junkyard right across the street to devalue what they're working on. We're at the point now where they're going to do the architectural design of the properties, and they were in shock as well. So they were the first people I called. So that's number one, is the devaluation of the properties is a big concern, because in '71, Urban Renewal came in there, took all them houses out of there for no reason, because those houses were in good shape, and they made vacant lots everywhere. So the lots have been vacant from around '71 to 2023. Vacant, no improvements, nothing. So finally, we get investors to come in and invest in the neighborhood, and now you don't want to assist them in keeping up the values, which is really not good. So I'm concerned because, number one, it's 2 blocks from Douglas High School, 2 blocks from Moon Junior High, 2 blocks from Willard Johnson's Recreational Center, and 3 blocks from Jimmy Stewart Golf Course, and by Edwards School, which is a child's care center. And so backed up to that is Carverdale District, just over the train railings is the next neighborhood. And so it would affect them as well as our neighborhood. In regard to the fencing, I'm on the top of the hill. So there's no amount of height on that fence that's gonna keep me from seeing over that yard. You know, because they stack the cars up and then they crush them. So it's not gonna help for me to rent it, Airbnb it, or whatever I wanna do with it, because who wants to stay next door? So fencing is not gonna solve the problem. And looking at this, I did research and I looked up Northeast 10th Junkyard, okay? And it became a super fund. It was so environmentally bad that EPA and Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality had to go in and clean it up and monitor it every 5 years. And this was from '83 till now. The last time they went over there was 2020. So it's an ongoing problem when we're talking about the pollution of the soil, the water, due to oil, transmission fluid, gas, batteries, corrosion, and in the water as well. And it will cross over the street. I used to be a risk and safety manager for the state, and we owned a rental building, and the soil got contaminated across the street. It went over into the courthouse, and we were affected. So this is a real issue that it still could affect my house across the street. This is not going to stop it. The other concern is hours of operation, 24 hours, heavy traffic, big tow trucks and other things they're carrying, the lighting, additional dumping, because we have people that drive by there in that area because it's hidden, and just dump mattresses and everything off and over there. And we had a problem with them keeping the city code because they would let the grass grow up 3 feet, and we have to call and complain to the city about them taking care of that. In addition to that, we have acres there already, and we have an infestation of mice because of the seed company. Okay, the seed company's feeding the mice, so how are we gonna get rid of the mice? So we have to be, careful about what we allow next to the residents. I noticed he kept saying hardship, hardship, hardship for the purchaser. But it doesn't seem like they're thinking about the hardship on the residents at all. We're gonna have the hardship, the health problems, the environmental issues, the low property values, So I am totally against it. I don't care how tall the fence is. Peace Places is, like I said, we're already ready to start 12, 13, 14 with new housing. And they already are working on the design, because I go to those meetings and they get input from the neighborhood. We finally getting pride in our property. Even my neighbors on my street, 4 of them have renovated their homes. So, I'm just saying, don't do this to us. Would you want to stay next door to a junkyard? It's not profitable or valuable to us as citizens. Thank you.
Linda Brooks Barnett.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Linda Brooks Barnett. and I was raised at 2028 Northeast 12th Street. My parents bought that home in 1951. So I will tell you, I don't mind saying this, I was there from age 2 up until I graduated from college. And at that time, it was a vibrant neighborhood where things were going on and the neighbors were all on one accord, basically. And now what I see and what is about to happen is something that I am opposing. I'm definitely opposing that, and the reasons for that, and I sent my letter, and basically, number one, I talked about it will decrease the value of the property. Number two was that it will increase traffic and noise pollution. Why did I say that? I see now even trucks from that vicinity coming down 12th Street, which will also cause harm to the roads and everything, and they're not rebuilding or repaving the roads and taking care of that. Number three, the environmental and health concern. It is a concern for me, and why is that? The impound yard are known to pose environmental risk, we know that, including potential oil and chemical leaks, air pollution, and increased dust and debris. It directly affects the health of people that live in the neighborhood and the well-being of the citizens there. Also, the public safety risks. I understand that the gentleman told me it would be a 24-hour surveillance with the police department, someone there monitoring that. But they will be monitoring on that side of Irving, 12th and Irving. But they have to come down 12th Street off of 12th and Eastern as well. So I am totally against this taking place in this neighborhood. Another reason for that, I heard the young lady speaking of even the urban renewal that came forth. It did come in our community, and everything that they said that they were going to do was not done. So it also caused me to be apprehensive about a lot of things that would take place now. So I am asking that you all would consider us opposing this, and I'm looking for the mercy of everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bert Woodring? Oh, okay, let me hear the other protester, and then I'll bring you back up.
Okay, thank you.
Sandino Thompson.
Good afternoon, Sandino Thompson, 805 Northeast 42nd Street. I am a community developer, board member of Northeast Renaissance Incorporated, which leads the Placekeepers program that Ms. Velma spoke of earlier. Also a property owner and active developer in the White Orchard neighborhood. For the last 3 years, we've been engaged with that community, or with the White Orchard community, the property holders and other stakeholders there, and trying to figure out how to repair some of the damage that you've heard some of the residents speak of that's been sort of perpetrated over the last 50 or 60 years. A lot of old urban renewal practices, a lot of old land use practices. And if you look at this particular site and you look at the sites around it, you'll see sort of the legacy of industrial uses in close proximity to very well-established neighborhoods in Carverdale and White Orchard. And you'll see the sort of conglomeration of a lot of different uses. We are not opposed to development. In fact, we are trying to encourage very ethical, very incremental and very inclusive redevelopment of this community. We are excited and very much invested working with the City of Oklahoma City, the Alliance for Economic Development, and several other stakeholders, including several of the developers who are building housing in that community, to really create a mixed income community that is an asset to the city and that is an asset to this neighborhood and that provides affordable and accessible housing. The challenge here, I think, on the merits with this development is that the 300-foot setback is there for a reason. We think it's a very applicable use in this instance because of the proximity. This piece of property was last purchased in 2018, so current owners with full knowledge of the limitations and the location next to the residential areas. So I do think that while there may be hardships incurred by either selling the property or purchasing the property, those things need to be made with sort of very clear and open eyes. It's not as if zoning or those regulations have shifted in that time period. And so the encumbrances, the challenges with this site have existed. They were pre-existing, and they're really legacies of a land policy from 50 years ago that didn't care about the people who lived in the surrounding community, saw them as maybe the least able to sort of push back against undesirable land uses. And obviously, we think at this point in the development of the city, and at this point with the types of development and investment that we're making, we don't want to repeat those mistakes of the past. So we really encourage your opposition to the variance. We think that the zoning as it stands can allow for some better and higher use of complementary industrial commercial development that will benefit the surrounding community and the surrounding neighborhood. We need the jobs, we need the economic activity, but this use that's being proposed I don't think meets the threshold for a variance. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Bert, your turn again.
Well, I can address a couple of things as far as environmental issues involved. I've been in the record business for 50 years, and the only reason I'm here is last year I sold my company to Mr. Azubi here, and we've talked about doing a contract with the city, and it's becoming available. It's why we're trying to do this. As far as environmental issues, we have to have a DEQ permit with the state. We also have to have a stormwater permit with the city that is monitored every time it rains. We take a sample and we send it to the lab. DEQ checks it to see if there's any problems with it. Therefore, if there is a problem, we solve it right there, and there's not going to be an environmental issue. As far as cars leaking on the ground, if there's an accident, you pick the car up and you tow it in. If there's any fluids that got tore up in the accident, it'll be gone mostly by the time you get to the yard. There'll be no more fluids leaking, number one. Number two, if there is a situation like that, we put a 3 by 3 foot drip pan under the vehicle, which will catch any remaining lubricants, and it will not go in the ground. And as far as any hazards goes, the only thing I know of is a Tesla car. When you impound it in an accident, you need to have a $2,000 blanket to put over it in case it could maybe catch on fire. That's the only thing that I know of that really that's came in the market lately that could really be a disaster in a tow yard is a Tesla could catch on fire after an accident. But they make a $2,000 blanket that you can buy that you put over it, and it prevents anything like that from happening. If it does catch on fire, it snuffs it out. And as far as noise go and everything, like I said, we're going to keep this on the south side of the property. And the only reason we're here asking for this 300-foot variance is because we are a record service and it's required. If anybody else buys this property, let's say that you want to put in a body shop, repair shop, a truck repair shop, or anything like that, you can store wrecked or disabled vehicles right up to that fence line. You do not have to come to the city to ask for a variance or anything. You can do anything you want to on that property. And if a body shop buys it and decides they want to run amok and just do whatever they want to on the property, they're not shouldered by the aspect of having to pull stormwater permits or anything else. But we do have a state record license and a city license, and so we have to do this. But as far as body shops, repair shops, or anybody else that wants to store stuff there, it's whatever. And I think they need to be aware of. I mean, we're going to do right with the property. We're not going to have any hazmat problems. We're going to put a good fence around it. We're going to have low lighting on the property. It'll be maintained 24 hours a day. And that's why we're asking for this variance. basically.
Okay. Anything from the board? That's all I have signed up.
I'd like to know, when was the last time this ordinance was modified?
The I-2?
Well, and when the property was purchased in 18, was there a different requirement as to this statute?
No, the special
That,
use.
that I would say no, there has not been a change since that time.
Okay.
For just the special use, or I-2. Just a couple of things from me on this, and so I believe this to be too intensive a use to be right next to the R1. So I just blatantly would be against granting the variance just on that, along with multiple other reasons, but that in itself on the zoning would be enough to not grant the exception, so.
Any other questions or comments?
I would agree with my colleague, Mr. Noble.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just go a step further. I think that some of the protesters touched on this. What we are seeing is relics of planning policy that was completely discriminatory, in my opinion. I feel like it's worth saying that. I feel like it's necessary to be on the record simply because I personally am a private property rights person. I'm a big proponent of it. And if the use is already existing, it's something that I'm likely to approve a variance on. However, I believe that there's clear language in the code that talks about the requirements and the restrictions that are there. I do believe that the 300-foot buffer is appropriate here. I also believe that if this was zoned, or this would not have been zoned in this way in any other area in Oklahoma City. So I definitely think that we have to take that into consideration when reviewing cases like this, and I think that it's pertinent here. I also, to the comments about other uses being there, and staff would have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that you would be able to get by with storing those vehicles directly up on the property, the fence line anyway. I think that they too would still have to come to this body to get a variance. So I would say if there is desire to develop, I would encourage you to meet with the community members and talk about what is appropriate development. It is your property, it's yours to develop how you see fit, and I do think that it's important that you be allowed to do so, but I do think that we also have to be sensitive to the historical factors that led to an industrial use being placed this close to a residential community, that while none of us here were responsible for that being done, it is our responsibility to take it into consideration and see what needs to be done to make it right.
I guess for me personally, it's just a matter of the fact that if home values have been increasing, I think this would be a detriment to that. And I like the fact that that area of town is being revitalized, and I want to continue that development. So I can't get behind supporting this variant either.
Any other comments? I think we're ready for a motion then.
All right, motion to deny case number 15880.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to deny. Cast your votes when you get the screen.
Oh, wait a minute. I seconded.
Okay, this one's denied.
Okay, item number 3, case number 15867 is an application by Home Sweet Home Properties to allow home sharing located at 2028 Northwest 45th Street.
Hello, my name is Bradley Basie. I'm speaking on behalf of Kelly Basie, who's the applicant for the property located at 2028 Northwest 45th Street. We are requesting special exception for home sharing. Are there any questions I can answer?
Nobody signed up on this one. Is there anybody that wants to address the board on this application? Okay. Questions or comments from the board? I've got one protest letter in my packet. Did you see that?
Well,
What
protest letter, I think it's for, I was told that there was some kind of conflict with Mr. Noble. Oh, well, I guess that's.
Oh, no, he just has to recuse. Protest? You can have
Yeah, it was
mine.
in the packet last meeting when we continued.
Okay. Okay. Anything else from the board?
I have. I think oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
This is your first step, your first home sharing application for this property?
Yes.
So we typically grant a 1-year term the first go-around just to see how it goes, make sure it's being managed properly, and make sure that you don't have any issues with the neighbors. And then upon renewal, we typically look at granting additional time depending on how that first term is gone.
It's perfect.
We also tend to implement some quiet hours. I know that we have a little bit different standards. Would you be opposed from having quiet hours from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.?
Yeah, we already got that.
Okay.
8 to 8.
Okay, and do you allow parking in the garage?
No.
Okay, so you think 3 cars in your driveway?
The maximum is 3, but
Okay.
after 8, there can only be 2 in the driveway and none on the street.
Okay. You guys have any other comments?
No.
Nothing from me.
Did you say 8 to 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready for a motion?
With that, I'll make a motion to approve case number 15867 on the basis that it meets the statutory requirements for a special exception for a period of 1 year, maximum 6 guests. Quiet hours to be from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. with the maximum of 3 vehicles with no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Cast your votes. You're approved.
Item number 4, case number 15868 is an application by Home Sweet Home Properties to allow home sharing at 2016 Northwest 45th Street.
Hello, good afternoon again. My name is Bradley Basie. I'm speaking on behalf of Kelly Basie, who's the applicant for the property located at 2016 Northwest 45th Street. We are requesting a special exemption for home sharing.
Anybody signed up to speak?
Nobody signed up on this one, and the same letter
Same
was in.
letter.
Same protest letter, so.
So with this same information, we'll do a year term for that first year for this initial term. And what do you need for parking here?
It's the exact same thing.
Okay.
Same amount of rooms, same amount of bathrooms in both houses, so the rules are the exact same.
Okay. So if you guys don't have anything, make a motion on this one.
That's fine. My only recommendation is apparently you're advertising this property prior to applying for your license. When you renew, make sure it's a timely renewal. If you're out of bounds, we're going to give you one year again if you apply next year. So definitely keep track of your dates.
Yes, sir.
And with that, I'll make a motion to approve case number 15868 on the basis that it meets the requirements for a special exception for a period of 1 year, maximum of 6 guests, quiet hours to be from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., a maximum of 3 vehicles with no on-street parking during quiet hours.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, so cast your votes. And you're approved.
Thank you for your time.
Item number 5, case number 15882 is an application by KYNE Management LLC to allow home sharing at 2025 Northwest 21st Street.
Good afternoon. My name is Long Tran. I'm here on behalf of KYNE Management LLC to allow lodging accommodation for home sharing located at 2025 Northwest 21st Street.
There's nobody signed up to speak on this one. Is there anybody that wants to address the board on this application? Questions, comments from the board?
Okay, I'll do it. Just a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath,
Yes.
and you're asking for 4 guests. You don't have quiet hours down or 8 p.m. to
8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
He does have it. Oh. Yeah, sorry, 9 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Maximum number of vehicles for the driveway, 2,
Yes.
and no on-street parking during quiet hours.
Yeah.
And for a term of 1 year.
Yes. Yes.
Good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll make it? I didn't write it down.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve case number 15882 on the statute, or let's see, on the basis that it meets the statutory requirement for a variance.
Special
For a special exception, maximum number of guests to be 4, quiet hours from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., maximum number of vehicles to be 2 for a term of 1 year.
Second.
I'll second. Oh, okay, good.
Okay, motion and a second, cast your votes.
Emily Kay, you have to give me one here.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
You're good.
You can take me off the board.
Okay, you're approved.
Thank you for your time.
Item number 6, case number 15881 is a renewal application by Hema Krishna on behalf of Emerald Investment Group to allow home sharing, 2428 Northwest 49th Street.
Hi, I'm Hema Krishna on behalf of Emerald Investment Group, and I am here about a renewal application for a special exemption for a short-term rental, 2428 Northwest 49th Street. Any questions?
Anybody signed up to speak?
No, nobody signed up to speak. Does anybody want to address the board on this one? A couple of protest letters in my, too, I think. Have you seen those?
The protest letters, have you
Protest
seen them?
letters.
Oh, my husband might have seen them, but I haven't seen them.
Probably, they're in the packet.
I
so
mean,
they
is it
can-
from last year or from this year? Because we had a couple
They're-
last year.
They're new, yeah.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
probably protesting again. One of them is that there's 2 other Airbnbs near this.
Oh, okay.
One, I actually looked up both addresses to see if they were on a short-term leasing platform. I couldn't find either of them.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that they're even operating. Just on your application, it's a 3-bedroom home. And you're asking for a maximum of 6 guests.
Yes, and there's plenty of parking, no parking on the street, and you can park in the garage.
Right. I was looking to see if you had quiet hours listed.
It's 10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Would you be willing to go from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m.?
Sure, it's kind of a busy area just because of the oak over there now, so I'm a little worried about that, but I think it should be fine.
Right, as long as they're not outside and
Right.
doing stuff in the backyard to disturb the neighbors. It's just a protection
Sure.
for your neighbors. Yeah, you can put a lot of cars, but I'd like to put a maximum number of vehicles to 4.
I think that's what we had thought anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no on-street parking during
No
quiet
on-street
hours?
parking.
And term? It's a renewal,
I
but it
didn't see
does have the
anything
protests,
But the
nothing
protests weren't specific to
this
the
property.
operation. Yeah.
Right.
It is specific to this one?
Isn't.
Oh, it isn't, okay.
So 3-year?
Okay. That'd be great for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve case number 15881 on the basis that it meets the statutory requirement for a special exception. The maximum number of guests to be 6, quiet hours from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., a maximum number of vehicles to be 4, no on-street parking during quiet hours for a term of 3 years.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion.
Back on the draw.
Cast your votes.
Thank you.
You're approved.
Okay, we're at the end of our docket. 7, 8, and 9 have been continued.
I don't have any additional items. We don't have any committees. Does anybody want to make a speech? Yeah. Rita? Citizens to be heard? No? Okay. I don't have any other business. I think we're adjourned.